Welcome to this class. So in this class, we'll be revising mathematics, basically earth geometry. So this is the second part which I told you that earth geometry and mensuration go hand in hand. So if you watched my video for mensuration, make sure you also watch this video for earth geometry so that you can get the full 12 marks on this question. So once you get the full 12 marks on this question, you need to boost your marks and your confidence in the exam. Yeah. So the question is on earth geometry and is from previous past papers. I get this question from previous past papers. You can check. So before I start, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out when my next video will be released. And also don't forget to comment if you have any questions, if you have any topic which you want to be helped with, and also share the video to your friends who may be in need. Yeah. So going back to our question, the question is saying in the diagram A, B, C, and D are points on the surface of the earth. Take pi as 3.142 and R as 3437 nautical miles. So this is how question in paper 2 earth geometry comes like. Your first question will be calculate A, the length of the circle of latitude 52 degrees. B, the distance BC along the longitude 76 degrees. C, distance DC along the circle of latitude 78 degrees. So now, how can we solve? So first you need to understand the meaning of latitude and longitude before you start solving the distance or the length. So what do we mean when we say latitude? So latitude are this line that runs from north to south. So this line are what are known as latitudes. So whenever you see a line running from north to south, just know that this is a longitude. Then the lines which run from west to east, these are latitude. Yeah. So once you understand that the line which runs from west to east are latitude, from north to south are what? A longitude, then you are on the right track. Yeah. So now after you have known the meaning of longitude and latitude, next you need to know how to calculate the difference in longitude and latitude, because these basic things I'm telling you will help us as we start solving the questions. So how can you calculate the difference in longitude or latitude? So the difference in longitude and the difference in latitude, you calculate them in the same way. What is the difference? There is no difference. So the formula which we use to calculate the difference in longitude is the same formula which we use to calculate the difference in latitude. What is the formula? So the formula, you just have to use your common sense here. So what do I mean? So when you're finding the difference, look at the signs. What do I mean? Look at the sides. So if you have north plus, so if you have north and north, if you have two numbers, let's say we have 20 degrees north and we have also 40 degrees north. If you have two numbers like this and they tell you to find the difference, you need to subtract. Why? So we are saying that you subtract same size and we add what? Different sides. So add different sides. Yeah. So these are the two things which you need to understand whenever you are calculating the difference either in longitude or latitude. So here you can either have 20 degrees north or 20 degrees north. I'm not saying that whenever you have north, that's when you can subtract, and whenever you have north, that's when you can subtract. No, you can have west, as long as they are the same side. Subtract. As long as they are different, add them. Yeah. So now you know how to find the difference in longitude. So now, how do you find the length of a circle? So whenever they ask you to find the length of a circle, the circumference of a circle, you need to use the same formula. So what is the formula? So let's solve our A. So our A is asking us to calculate the length of a circle. So we are going to say A. So what is the formula? So it says circumference of a circle is equals to 2 pi r. So this is our formula for the circumference of a circle. But mind you, if you look at the circles or if you look at the latitude, you can notice that as you are going up, the circles are getting bigger and bigger. As you are coming to the middle, the circle starts to get what? Smaller. So meaning the circles in latitude are different. What do I mean when I say they are different? So for the formula, if you are calculating the length of a circle in latitude, we add what is known as cos lat. So what does this cos lat mean? So cos lat means cos latitude. The latitude which you have been given in the question, you have to use it. So remember, this is a trick which most of pupils don't know. Whenever the question has latitude, just know that that latitude you are supposed to use it. This latitude you are going to use it, and also this latitude. But if you have the longitude here, just ignore it. So we don't use longitude because longitude are always the same, but the latitude are different. So if you have a longitude at the end, ignore it. But if you have a latitude, always add it to the equation. Yeah, as you will see. So this is our formula. So now ask yourself, where do we get the pi, where do we get the r, and where do we get the lat? So the 2 is already given. The pi is this one in the formula. So we say 2 times 3.142. What is our r? Our r we have been given, which is the radius, which is 34, 37. Then what is our latitude? So cos what? 52 degrees. Yeah. So again, I taught you how to punch. So start from cos 52, then punching moving backwards. Okay. So again, I repeat, first punch cos 52, then place equals on your calculator. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. Then you multiply 34, 37 times 3.142 times 2. So if you punch correct, you will find your answer to be mark right. So we have 13 to 9 7.123. nautical miles. So again, what did I say? Leave your answer to 3 significant figures. There is a reason why the examiner have put that instruction on the cover page. Instruction are part of the exam. You can fail just by failing to round off, because the reason they have put that on the answer or on the instruction part is for them to test your knowledge on rounding off. Because if you can check paper 1 and paper 2, you never find a question on rounding off, but you learn it in class. Why? So that you can apply it here. So the examiners, there are a lot of ways which they can use to examine you on a topic. So you have to be sharp. So 3 significant figures, you count 1, 2, 3. Is the number after 2 5 or above 5? Yes. What do? We add a 1 to the previous number, so it will be 1. My markers are disappointing. So we have 1. Okay, so you'll find your answer to be 1, 3, 2. Oh, since this number is bigger, so this will become 3. Then you add 0, 0 nautical miles. Sorry about my marker. I'm having challenges. So moving on to part B. Yeah. So this is how you can solve. So imagine if we didn't put cos, we could have found a wrong answer here. So that's the importance of putting cos latitude. So remember the formula. 2 pi r is the formula. But if you are dealing for latitude, you add cos latitude. In longitude, no need, I repeat, in longitude, no need of adding cos latitude, because all lines in longitude are equal. Yeah. So now, how do you find the distance? So the formula for distance is equals to theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So this is the formula which you are supposed to use whenever you are calculating the distance in what? In longitude. So I repeat, whenever you are calculating the distance in longitude, you use this formula. Again, I repeat, whenever you are calculating things in longitude, use this formula without cos latitude. Yeah. You will see how the next question will present itself. So, what is this? So this is what I taught you at the beginning. This is what is known as the difference in either longitude or latitude. So, how do we calculate it? So if you are finding, so remember, if you are finding the distance in what? In longitude. So here you go for the opposite. So if you are finding the distance in longitude, I repeat, you find the difference in latitude. So let me just write this point. If you are calculating distance in longitude, find the difference in latitude. That will be your theta. Yeah. So those of you who wrote, have written, I'm going to lab it. So if you are calculating the distance in longitude, I repeat, find the difference in latitude. The opposite will apply. if you are calculating the distance in latitude, you find the difference in longitude. Yeah. So since our distance is BC, and if you go to the diagram, you can see that B is on latitude what? 52. Then C is on latitude what? 78 degrees south. What did I say? If you have different signs, you do what? You add the latitude. So meaning here we are going to add. So the difference is 52 plus 78, which will give us 52 plus 78. Where's my calculator? Yeah, so you add. What are we adding? So we are adding 52 plus 78, which gives us 130. So meaning our angle which we are going to use here is what? 130. So you say 130 over 360 times 2. What is our pi? 3.142. What is our r? So let me lab. I hope you have gotten the point. If you are calculating the distance in longitude, find the difference in latitude. So times 34, 37. No cos. Yeah. So here now, remember, multiply everything on top. Then you divide with 360. So you start 130 times 2 times 3.142 times 3437 equals, then you divide by 360, which gives us our answer to be our distance 7,799.3167. What did I say? 3 significant figures. Counts 1, 2, 3. So meaning our answer will end where? Here. So you say, is the number next to 9 above 5? Yes, we add a 1 here. But if we add the 1 here, it will become what? 10. So meaning this extra 1 will throw it to the next number. So giving our final answer to be 7,800 nautical miles. Again, I repeat, if you find that the next number is 9, and if you add 1, it gives you 10, you throw it to the next number, which is 7, which turns into 8. If this number was also 9, you throw it to the next number. Just see, like that. Yeah. So, moving on to our question, what? C. So, our question C is asking us to calculate now the distance along the circle of latitude 78. So, now the question has changed. So, we are not calculating the distance in what? In longitude, but we are calculating the distance in what? In latitude. I hope you wrote this formula. So question C here. So remember, the formula is the same, okay? It's the same one. So distance is equals to theta over 360 times 2 pi r cos lat. So here we have added cos latitude. I told you, whenever you see latitude, make sure you use it. Always latitude is usable. Yeah. So again, going back to our first thing. What is our first thing? We need to calculate the difference in longitude, because here we are calculating for latitude, so meaning our difference should be in longitude. You go to D. Where is D? So D is only 43 degrees west. So you say 43 plus what is our C? Our C is at 76. And the signs are different. We have east and west. That's why we are adding. So if we add 43 plus 76, what are we getting? So if we add 43 plus 76, we are getting 119 as our theta. So once we have 119, the next thing is just the replacing. So here we have the theta, which is 119 over 360 times 2 times 3.142 times 37 times cos what? 78. Yeah. So remember, whenever you have cos, always aim to start from cos, moving this way. Don't start from here. Start from cos. If you punch cos, then equals, then you multiply, then you multiply, then you multiply, and you multiply. So if you multiply everything, cos 78 degrees times 3437 times 3.142 times 2 times 119, then you divide everything by 360, you find your distance to be, you get your answer to be 1484.359 nautical miles. Again, remember how many significant fingers? 3. Count 1, 2, 3. Is the number after 8 bigger than 5 or 5? No. So you just replace it with 0. So you say 1, 4, 8, 0 nautical miles. Simple as that. Meaning you have solved your 6 marks plus the mensuration part. You have gotten your 12 marks. You are even smiling. Yeah. So moving on to our question 2. So question 2 will be fast because it is the same concept and the same formula. What is changing is just the radius. So on Earth geometry, don't memorize the radius. I repeat, don't memorize the radius. There is radius for nautical miles and also radius for kilometer. So make sure you see the units also. Yeah. So moving on to our first question for part B. Find the difference in longitude between point T and R. So they want us to calculate what? The difference in longitude between point T and R. Okay, so here I forgot, it's supposed to be 50 degrees east. So finding the difference in longitude is the simplest thing which you find on Earth geometry. So our A, you say, where is T lying? What is the longitude for T? I told you the longitude are what? Long lines. Latitude, these lines. So you say 130 degrees west. What is the other one? 50 degrees east. Yeah. So what is the sign we should put here? So the sign here will be determined by the side. We have west and east. So meaning we're supposed to add 130 plus 150, you have 180 degrees as our difference. You have solved your A, 2 marks. Part B, find the distance PQ along latitude 40. What did I say? Whenever you hear the word latitude at the end, meaning you're supposed to use it. So which formula are we supposed to use between this one and this one? Of course it's this one, because we have latitude. So you say B. Theta is equals to 360 times 2 pi r cos lat. Yeah. So here we have, what is our theta? P and Q. P and Q. I told you, longitude have the same difference. So you just pick the one which you found here. 180 over 360 times 2 times 3.142. The other here changes. We are using what? 6370 kilometer times cos lat. Yeah. So this question I want to solve. I'm leaving this question for you to solve. So find the distance. So the answer will be at the end of the video if you want to see if you are correct or wrong. Yeah. So moving on to our final question, which is calculate the circumference of a circle of latitude 40 degrees in kilometer. So again, going back to our first formula, which we said circumference of the circle is equals to 2 pi r cos lat. So as long as there is latitude involved, you have to also include it in your formula. That's the thing which you need to understand. Earth geometry is simple. Once you know how to find the difference, once you know the formula for distance, you can solve any question which can come on earth geometry. All you just need is to be identified. Okay, so now we have 2. Yeah. So here we have what? 2. What is our radius? What is our pi? We have 3.142. What is our r? Our r is 6370. Then what is our cos? So our cos latitude is what? Where it is 40. So here we say cos 40. Then here I forgot, you're supposed to put what? Cos 40 also degrees. Yeah. So even this one here you can just punch. I'll post the answer in the what? In the comment section. Also feel free to comment the answers to these 2 questions. So I've written you, it's supposed to be in kilometer and your answer is supposed to be in 3 significant figures. So this is the entire revision on earth geometry. So these are the 2 types of questions which they can bring. One can come in nautical miles, one can come in kilometer. What you need to understand is the concept is the same. Yeah. What changes is the formula. Whenever you are calculating for latitude, always include latitude in your formula. But if you are calculating longitude, ignore the longitude because we don't use longitudes. We only are interested in latitude because the circles keep on changing. That's what you need to know. So this is where our class today ends on revision of earth geometry. So don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out other revision topics like calculus, sets, vectors, linear programming, statistics, etc. All those topics, we are going to revise them together and post them at my channel. So don't forget to subscribe. This is your chance to pass.